Hello again, everyone. This is Dennis Sullivan, Sports Snippets with Dennis Sullivan here on Sunday the 13th of September for week number 1 of the 2020 NFL season. As for the second straight year, I will be providing you with Miami Dolphin insight, recaps to the games, and we're just going to have some fun this year, regardless of the outcome of these games, although I am hoping for a successful season in 2020. So guys, let's discuss our first game of the year for the Dolphins, week 1 on the road, playing, of course, the New England Patriots. Dolphins not expected to win this game, but I tell you what, I mean, to get started, it wasn't the most entertaining game, but we did hang in there for the most part, you can say, until pretty much the end. I mean, it wasn't a nail-biter either, but at least there was no embarrassment here, no we got destroyed type of discussion. If you do like the content and the comments, I almost said if you like the comments, if you like the comments and the content of this particular video, please don't forget to go ahead and like and subscribe to the channel as well, Sports Snippets with Dennis Sullivan, if you would like to do so. You can also catch me on my podcast under the same name, Sports Snippets with Dennis Sullivan. Now let's get into this game, guys. For week 1, I tell you, some positive things that I saw, and also a couple of takeaways of things that we definitely need to work on. Final score 21-11. New England Patriots come out victorious. Now, to get things started, guys, I want to discuss, before I get into the 5 main points, I do believe, or really the top 4 points, and then we'll look ahead to next week. Let's discuss Miami Dolphins' overall performance from the offense, moving a little bit into the defense. Ryan Fitzpatrick, not one of his better games, 20 out of 30 for 191 yards. He was sacked only once, but it was the big 3 interceptions. I'm going to give him a little bit of a break on that 3rd interception inside 2 minutes to Gesicki in the end zone, because from my angle, Gesicki definitely was either held or interfered with. Take your pick. So, as far as in the books or in the stats, yeah, he threw 3 interceptions. 3rd one was rather unfortunate, though. Not the greatest of starts for Ryan Fitzpatrick. He'll be back, though. We know what he's capable of. Myles Gaskin might have been the one bright spot today. Kind of came out of nowhere as far as the way he was used in the offense. I didn't expect 9 carries, but he got 9 carries. 40 yards as well on the ground. Matt Breida would have 5 carries and 22 yards. Definitely spreading out the touches in the running game were the Dolphins. Ryan Fitzpatrick himself would add 18 yards rushing on 5 carries. He did have that fumble. Jordan Howard would have a difficult time running the football. He only had 8 carries, though, 7 yards. He did score a touchdown, the lone touchdown for the Miami Dolphins in today's game. Devontae Parker looked fine. He looked good in the first half. He had 4 catches, 47 yards. And then, although I haven't received an official update on the injury status, I believe it was that hamstring that was giving him trouble. He had to cramp up or something, because he was I saw him standing on the sidelines, but could not perform in the second half. And I believe it was either early in the 3rd quarter, sometime in the 3rd quarter. I think he played a little bit in the second half. I think he didn't catch any passes, though. So it's tough to tell, because he really wasn't part of the passing game in the 3rd quarter, so he might have just not played much at all in the second half. That's for sure. He didn't play much at all. Preston Williams, 41 yards receiving on 2 catches. He did have 7 targets, which is kind of a lot. I mean, if you only get 2 catches on 7 targets, you really don't know where to blame that. Are we just kind of throwing it to him? It seemed like he had a few difficult type of scenarios there where it was tough to come down with the catch. And, you know, I'll say Preston Williams, he's a nice number 2 receiver for us. We look for some good performances from him this season. Mike Gesicki, 3 catches, 30 yards. The only thing I have to say about that, he had 5 targets. We didn't target Mike Gesicki until like inside a minute of the first half. We can't have this happen again. We got to get him involved a little bit earlier than that. And when I say we can't have this happen again, that's what happened last year until like the last 6-7 games. Then we started to feature him more. Let's not go through that again, though, where we have to go through like 9 or 10 games to to get him involved more consistently in the offense. Miles Gaskin would also catch 4 passes as well for 26 yards. Jakeem Grant, 25 yards receiving on 3 catches. Getting into the defense, Jerome Baker had a tremendous game for the Dolphins. The guy had 13 solo tackles. He was all over the field. 3 assists. He had a sack, and he had the forced fumble. I mean, he made a beautiful play on the forced fumble. The guy did some amazing things. And when I look at Jerome Baker, number 55 for the Miami Dolphins, he hasn't missed a game yet. This is his 3rd season from what I saw. He hasn't missed a game in 2018. He played all 16 games. 2019 played all 16 games. Out there today. I mean, he adds a lot to the Dolphins, but the unsportsmanlike penalty was crushing at that point in the game, right around just over 10 minutes left. Close game. Dolphins down 3. Gets the 15-yard unsportsmanlike, the late hit out of bounds. Also, there was that play where it was 1st and goal, and then he had the late hit out of bounds, and then they got him for like an unsportsmanlike. I'm not sure if I think they called the first one the late hit and unsportsmanlike. Then he had the other play inside the 5, like right inside, almost near the goal line, and yeah, the announcer said, well, it only gained New England like a half a yard, but they reset the downs. So instead of 2nd and goal, now it's back to 1st and goal because he had that other penalty. So, I mean, he does great things out there, does Jerome Baker, but we just gotta, we gotta watch those penalties, especially the late hits. Cam Newton, this was the big story going into today. It was his first game for New England as a New England Patriot. He was very conservative in his play at quarterback, only threw the ball 19 times. Completing 15 passes for 155 yards. He was sacked twice, but he didn't turn it over. Didn't throw any TDs, but didn't turn it over. Cam can beat you that way in these types of games. The big news for Cam Newton was the fact that he ran for 75 yards and 2 touchdowns on 15 carries. I don't expect Cam to be carrying the ball for 15 carries or having, that's a lot, guys, for an NFL quarterback. That's a lot, but it was enough to get the job done. He's averaging 5 yards a carry today. Sony Michel, 10 carries, 37 yards and a touchdown, very consistent. The Patriots beat us on the ground, no doubt, today. Rex Burkhead, 7 carries, 32 yards. J.J. Taylor, who they spoke very highly of on the broadcast, 4 carries, 28 yards. James White, 5 carries, 22 yards. So all this added up to over 200 yards rushing by the New England Patriots. Julian Edelman had the 1 carry for 23 yards, why I put him at number 2. The guy just finds a way to beat you, does Julian Edelman, the veteran. Can't say enough about this guy. I just wish he wouldn't beat my team so much. But he is a tremendous player. And that was the play on the 23-yard I guess you could call it kind of like an outside type run. I guess you can call it a sweep or an outside type run. And he got the sideline and then the late hit. So a 23-yard gain turned into a 38-yard gain when you tack on the 15-yard penalty. Edelman would also catch 5 passes for 57 yards. He always factors in when he's healthy, this guy. And he's like 36 years old or something. He keeps himself in tremendous shape. N'Keal Henry, nice addition for the Patriots. 39 yards receiving on 5 catches. James White would add another, actually, in addition to his 22 yards rushing, would have 30 yards receiving on 3 carries. Ryan Izzo, 25 yards receiving on 1 catch. Taylor would add 4 yards, 1 catch for 4 yards. We lost the game because the Patriots ran and ran and ran on us. If it wasn't Cam, it was someone else. The Patriots have mastered the whole running back by committee thing, and it kicked in today. The turnovers didn't help either. The 2 first-half interceptions thrown by Fitzpatrick, coupled with that one late in the game inside 2 minutes. I will say the Dolphins really lost this game in a way. You could say, yeah, because we allowed all these rushing yards, but we also lost it with our offense in the first half. There wasn't much, and sometimes you get that in week 1. There wasn't much continuity, if you will, throwing a fancy word. We look for better things from the passing game. We look for a lot more, rhythm out of the passing game and the overall offense for the Dolphins. So guys, a 10-point loss to a really good team. Not a great way to start the year, but I tell you, at least we got one of the New England games out of the way. That's one way you could put it. Looking ahead next week, it's going to be the Buffalo Bills, Dolphins opener at home. That'll be a home game for week 2. Bills were victorious today. They beat the New York Jets by 10 points. So we're going up against a pretty good team, Bills team that made the playoffs last year. So that will be an interesting test. So guys, got to protect the ball against these teams. Dolphins know they could play better. I think we can play better. Our defense was, again, we didn't allow that many huge plays, but we did allow New England to consistently run the ball on us. So for now, guys, this is Dennis Sullivan saying I will see you, yes you, next time. Dolphins fall to 0-1 to start the year. We will discuss more in week 2. Bye for now.